Da-na-na, da-na-na.
Welcome to Is Anybody Listening to Me podcast with Azar and the Meat. Today we have our special guest Jarvis joining us. This is a very special episode because two very important reasons. One, fantasy season is officially started. It's August. We're finally into August, so this typically starts the typical mad dash as people prepare for their drafts coming up in the next couple of weeks. People are doing their fantasy football calculators and mock drafts. And another important event that we enjoy every year is Sigma Golf Tournament. And Jarvis is here to give us a good rundown because with COVID, it's not the usual golf tournament that we've kind of seen in the past, but Jarvis is here to kind of fill us in and give us a good rundown of what to expect this year, especially in this whole crazy environment. But I'm sure he's got some things up his sleeve to keep it exciting for us. So welcome, Big Meat. Welcome, Jarvis. Let's get started.
To be here. All right.
Yeah, it's nice to see Jarvis back on our podcast here, taking a podcast off on the last one. Welcome back.
I was able to find a rock out here in Middle Earth to hide under with good signal. So I'm glad to be safe from all of the wonk walkers and night falcons.
We were worried about you. Got to say, we're a little worried. We're like, gee, he said he was going to jump on, but then he didn't. I was, whoa.
Well, I think we know why why he disappeared. I think he did kind of confess that Pornhub did give him ultimate access, unlimited access. So I think he just jumped on and he kind of went into hiding and just took advantage of that. He got distracted and he lost his audio. See, he's talking and we can't even hear him right now.
That's not fair. You and I, we said that about John, and you turn around and use that against me.
Look, everybody knows.
It was
Big
a layup for him.
Big Meat's the platinum member of this thing. Like
That's right.
Pornhub is a platinum
Everybody
member.
knows that about me, Jarvis.
So when you're talking about, they're giving out free access during COVID, how does Big Meat care? He's like, I already got access. I spent so much money. It's like going to Mohegan Sun.
He spent so much money that they upgraded him from Direct TV to Comcast to get the higher MVP.
That's right. They gave that for me for free.
They were like, you deserve the faster computer. You deserve faster internet. We're going to come hook your house up because you're such a loyal customer.
I signed up for a 20-year membership.
You're the only one that paid during COVID.
Well, you know what? I would like to believe he actually would take advantage of that, but after seeing his internet the last few weeks during these podcasts, during Zoom, it must be the most painful porn to watch for him because the thing must be freezing like every 2 minutes.
Pixelated.
All pixelated. That's why you had to go get Xfinity, just because. But his laptop, he's always like, guys, my laptop sucks. Well, you got to delete the porn cookies. That's why.
Oh, the porn comes through crystal clear. Don't you worry about the porn videos.
But
I am A-okay on that one.
Now, Jarvis's factoid, I can see why Jarvis would not share that earlier on, maybe like that important tidbit, like we wouldn't know it. But what hurts me is we all know Mr. Roper is an expert in this area and has not shared that info. He kept it to himself because anybody who would take advantage of that information would be Mr. Roper. And you think, like he's got his credit card on file, and you think he would have let his friends know, hey guys, I'm saving money right now during COVID. It's unlimited access. And no, he didn't. Nothing. It's very hurtful. I got to say, it's something I'm going to call out next time we get all the guys together.
He's definitely held out.
Yeah. So, all right, that's a little tangent that we went on just about Pornhub, but not that
Sponsor? No.
You know what?
Soon to be brought you by.
But I digress on that one. But anyways, we brought you on, Jarvis, because I think we're a week away from the golf tournament. It'd be nice to kind of just dive in and just tell us this year, very, summarized version, not your essay version, but what's going on with the golf tournament year? What are the changes we're expecting for those that are golfing this weekend?
So
and who are you planning on yelling at this year at the golf tournament? That's what I want to know.
Tell us about the help.
Well, so COVID is going to play a big role in all of the things you just asked because what we've decided to do was, without saying it publicly, we've technically canceled the 10th annual golf tournament. So we're calling this the 9.5. We were not allowed to have a banquet unless we assembled with a group of 40 outside or 25 inside. But the only way we could get 72 people is if we only golfed. So we looked into some options to try to have a banquet, and it just wasn't feasible. So we decided that's the meat and potatoes, the raffle, that big spread of prizes that I put out. So all of that has to look different this year. So we're not calling it the 10th annual where we're going to have a big bender next year. We're going to roll that all over. This year we'll do the 9.5. So we are going to have a giveaway. We're pushing right now for everybody that was able to register. So the 72 people that got in first, we're pushing for them to get their payments in online in advance because we're not taking any payments for the tournament day of. The only thing we're asking people to bring is, 10s and 20s for some of the reduced contests that we're going to have to offer. So we have a giveaway. Registration, I'll be there at 6 a.m. setting up. So anywhere starting at 6:30, you can show up to get your coffee and donuts. Everything will be served, or pastries, whatever they're going to have.
They're going to let you have that?
They're going to let us have it. It's not going to be communal, so somebody will be there serving it.
Okay.
So we will have the same refreshments. Registration is just going to be telling me that you're there. I'll check it off, and then you'll be able to buy your mulligans and do a 50-50 raffle. And that's all. And then that's all we're going to do. We'll give away cigars. We normally do that. So that's all we're going to have at the registration. So you can buy mulligans and you can buy 50-50 raffle tickets.
So what'd you say? It was a pastry table? What was it
they call it assorted breakfast pastries?
Okay. So when you approach the table, are you going to tell them because you write the check, you deserve 2 pastries? Is you going to?
I will get to that. I hold that question because it's not appropriate right now. It's appropriate.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So do we have to wear a mask when we register? When we walk in?
So masks are required for the general communal areas. However, I will release exclusively on this podcast that the giveaway gift this year is masks. That's a Sigo golf tournament on them.
Really?
Yeah. So everybody's got a reusable, washable mask that has the fraternity Sigma Phi Omicron letters annual golf outing on it.
So we'll be wearing those during the event. So this will not be a Sigo super spreader event like the Get Laid Bash. Is that what you're saying? Okay.
Correct. So what we'll do when you get there, we've reached out to every single foursome asking if anybody wants an individual cart or if they don't mind driving together. So anybody that requests a cart by themselves will be able to have one. And once we get everybody set up ready to go, we're actually going to announce the winner of the 50-50 right there, right in the morning. And that way everybody's as together as they're going to be. So once we go out, it's only one team per hole, one team starting per hole. So we have 18 teams. Everybody will go out to their holes and we'll start. We're going to have the closest to the pin because that's a competition that, you'll take your golf, whoever gets close to the pin just writes their name on the piece of paper. We'll do the longest drive competition. There's no women this year playing in the tournament. So we don't have, it's just, one hole for the men, longest drive, one hole for the men close to the pin.
Why is it a sexist event? What happened?
No women. I mean, we're a male fraternity, and 72 males signed up first.
Look at him trying to justify it. He can't just go along with it. Look at he's trying to play it safe. That's a political answer.
So you didn't reserve like a spot for women, you sexist bastard?
So we reserved a spot we always reserve a spot for the chancellor, and that's always free. But because we're not having the official tournament, we can't afford a free spot that we normally do. And so the chancellor's spot. We didn't reach out to the university this year because normally they either contribute to the endowment or they get comp spots, and we reduced the price of the tournament to $100 from $150 to cut out the whole banquet and all the raffle stuff. So we didn't really have an opportunity to open it up like we normally do. And one Sigo golfer's wife usually plays on his team. They had a spot, so she would have been in, but they decided to opt out, and another team took their place that didn't.
Okay.
We tried.
That's sad. That sucks that a lot of people are going to be missing out this year. The usual suspects.
So over 25 people are missing out from what we normally have. We have over 100. We're at 72, so well over 25 to 30 people less on the course this year than we would like to have had, and that includes volunteers. So the disappointing part is we don't have we're not having a raffle, so we will not have the same raffle caliber. staff members.
Okay.
Hawking the tickets. We are going to have the Monte Carlo hole. That's going to be the only interactive hole. And what we're going to do, that's where you get up to the green and you can spend $5 or $10. And if you hit the green, you win 10 if you bet 5, or you win 20 if you bet 10. But at that hole, we're also going to have a couple of the normal autograph items that I put out. We'll have a few there, so that'll entice people to want to spend money at that hole. And if people do, then they'll be entered for one of those items. We'll pull the tickets. We'll tape the ticket to the item. And at the end of golf, when everybody's coming in, you'll just go up and see if your ticket matches the ticket hanging off the item, and you can take it with you. And that way it's all contactless. And that's going to be, between that and the 50-50 are going to be the two contesty money siphoning holes that we hit you with this year. So to your question, John, Asa, this one was yours. So I have one volunteer working that hole, actually maybe two, but it will not be an active. So the anger and visceral hate that I spewed last year will not resurface.
That's gonna come on the next podcast when it's over. You'll find something to yell about.
And John, to answer your question, after you cross your first 9, so like if you start on 9 and when you get to hole 1, or vice versa, we are going to have the sausage, pepper, and onions or 2 hot dogs options at the turn. That
two for you, 1 for us.
That is, I ordered 80 servings. So we have 72 people, 4 volunteers, 80 sausage, pepper, and onions. That way, there are
Very
2
good.
for when our team pulls up. I can say we get 2.
Oh,
I like that.
Big meat.
That. That's a team player right there.
oh, you know what? You can't say that on the podcast because now you got Mr. Roper. Will magically end up just showing up in the middle of nowhere.
Nope. So Mr. Roper, starting at hole 1 because of a member of his team, automatically starts at hole 1. So we're ahead of him, and we will be through the turn before he gets there.
No, you don't know how wily Mr. Roper is.
Well,
He'll pop out of nowhere. He'll be right behind you. He could be right behind you right now, Jarvis. You have no idea.
if I turn on the light real quick and his face flashes right here like that, would that?
Yeah, and you were forgetting that his partner is the reason where that name Super Spreader came from. He's playing with Adam, so the original OG Super Spreader at the house. Yeah. So that's those 2 alone just scare me.
I do have another question.
Yes.
Will there be any women massaging our pockets this year, or was that just last year, just a one-time thing?
No. That was a 9-time thing. We've had the massage pockets happen 9 years running. This year we will not have massaging pockets.
All right. I think you're misunderstanding my question.
Yeah. No, he knows.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
I know exactly what you mean.
And the problem is that if people that know Jarvis, when massaging is very special to him, so he loves massaging. So that's why that word, that combination, massaging your pocket, no one would ever think of. But this is a man that does enjoy his pockets being massaged. So that's
right.
So I have 2 very important questions. So last year when you were talking about like these autographed prizes that people entice people. So is Charlie Daniels, is there going to be another photo of Charlie Daniels on this thing?
Wait. The value of that went up because he died.
I know. So that's my concern. Are you like the new Madden? You're going to pick some guy, some nobody that really no one would ever think of.
The Jarvis curse.
And they're going to die. Are they on your
I will tell you what, the man to watch out for this year is Richard Dreyfuss, because I went bigger and better with the Jaws poster this year.
Oh.
We have I think it's 16 by 20, and it's not that little 8 by 10 thing. I got a big one, and it is good.
Any gymnastic women?
No gymnastic. No Carrie Strug.
No Carrie Strug. No
Carrie Strug. No. We do have some former Patriots that I didn't expect to be former Patriots so soon. So I have to get rid of. I have a Kyle Van Noy coming because I have to get rid of him.
Once again, Jarvis's value picks that he
Right.
you look for players on the bubble. Ooh, that's a good jersey. I'm going to get him on the bubble.
Well, you're watching the prices, and you're like, oh, that's right in my wheelhouse. And he's like, it's like a nice poster, it's 16 by 20, and because it just doesn't work out. I think a Landon Roberts got cut too. I think he's somewhere else.
Yeah.
Did you get a Ridley? Did you get a Ridley jersey for Royal?
Nope, no, you want Sony Michelle, not Ridley.
Sony Michelle.
Sony Michelle. Sorry.
Asa, are you stuck in 2011?
Yeah.
If R3 is listening to this right now, he is his brain just exploded.
He calls James White Shane Vereen. He calls Nate Solder Matt Light.
No. I didn't. No, I know.
R3 will back me up, and you're in trouble.
I said Chip Kelly. That was the only thing that.
Oh my God! You did say Chip.
That's the thing. So did I screw up?
That's terrible.
It is terrible.
Somebody told me Sony Michelle is considering opting out.
That would be a blessing for the Patriots.
That's Bill Belichick opting him out. It's not Sony Michelle's.
That would be fantastic.
Your locker that said opt out or else.
So the other question I have is this golf, the optional golf cart. So
yes.
Are you saying that when meat finally irritates the living hell out of me during the golf game, can I go back to the clubhouse and get a cart to separate from him?
No, you'll have to declare that before.
You're locked in. You're locked in, Azar.
So
wait, who says you two are riding together?
Well, I don't know if I want to ride with COVID boy.
Mead already said, he's just said, fuck it, at this point I'm looking to get it, so he can go COVID.
Okay, so yeah,
I want to share cigars. I want to get it.
Yeah.
I want this whole thing to be over with so I can build up my antibodies.
So there you go.
Well, until Roper gets it COVID from our COVID boy from indirect passing, but we'll leave that as a little sidebar. I won't get into how Roper would get COVID from our buddy Bobby, but
from said team member. So we were looking to try to have an after event, but it's just not in the cards, and we really didn't want to push it. We're not looking to make a ton of money like we normally do off the raffles and stuff. So as far as this year goes, it's the 9.5 tournament. It's an extra round of golf that we're really just looking to get out and give people an opportunity to get out, for those especially that haven't really been able to. And so today, this year, it's going to be more about the golf and just breaking the stalemate that has been quarantine and try to get some social interaction out in people's lives. So once we get through that, we're going to refocus on our efforts next year and come up with bigger prizes, better prizes. You know, golf is golf, but we're going to try to go bigger giveaways. We're going to go big next year.
That's good. That's good. I'm glad at least we're having the golf tournament this year. I mean, a lot of people are canceling their events, and it's good to just have something.
Yeah, we thought it made a pretty good statement to get to still push forward with this in the best, most inclusive way possible, and that was 72 people golf only. I didn't feel right doing 40 people for an outdoor event or 25 people for an indoor event. That would have been
silly.
And if by chance COVID lingers on into next year we'll have the 9 3/4 golf tournament.
That's right. We'll keep dividing fractions.
Yeah. What about the beer? What about the beer cart girls? Are they going to have beer carts for us, or?
I believe so. Yeah, because the beer. I haven't golfed in Massachusetts yet, but yes. So from what I understand, people that have said beer carts have been out.
So do we have to approach them with masks?
I mean, they'll probably say yes, but I think they'll come up on you. They'll be wearing a mask, so they'll probably, they'll ask you what you want from a distance. You walk over to the cart and get it, and they'll, leave the money there, and they'll socially distance themselves for the most part. But, you'll have the mask. Everybody got one, so you don't have to worry about it. Throw it on, and
no, that's why I would love for her to throw a twisted tea at John's head. So
we can make that happen.
And why would you like this? Why what does that have to do with anything?
We can make that.
When Big Me has that look in his eyes, I think she's going to want to socially distance anyway. So you just might as well just chuck the twisted tea at him. So because he'll be grabbing his chest anyways from the heartburn that he gets anyways.
I will catch the twisted tea in my mouth.
So the big one is going to be we have a Kemba Walker.
Oh,
a
that's
big
nice.
16 by 20 Kemba Walker.
Nice. Nice. Are you sure it's not a fake Antoine Walker picture?
No, it's legit.
All right.
I have to do one of the Kyle Van Noys because that happens. So
Kyle Van Noy.
Kyle Van Noy. We'll have Kemba Walker, Richard Dreyfuss from Jaws, and you know what I have? I have a flag from Caddyshack, like a pin flag.
Really?
Autographed by Chevy Chase.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one.
So we're gonna have that one, and the rest of them. So, and that was the thing. I had a lot of cool ones. Like I had the Mike Tyson one again, the Punch Out one, but we can't go too crazy because we can't sell a lot of the raffle tickets and have so much exchange. The person that we have, thank you to Christine Bork, who will be attending the golf tournament as our raffle supervisor, golf hole supervisor. She's going to be laying down the law, making sure that all the, everything's sanitary, and we have to put somebody we can trust. I couldn't imagine putting an active up there. And all over the
and she can kick anybody's ass.
Dollar bills.
She can kick anybody's ass in the house, so that doesn't really make.
That's right.
So you brought real muscle in. Is that what you're telling us? You brought muscle in.
Real muscle that understand that would take this year. That would take it seriously, because the last thing I want is somebody to have a bad time by money exchanging. Like she's going to be. We'll have hand sanitizers out there. We'll have alcohol sprays. So anytime that, we need to do a quick money exchange, there'll be hand sanitizer for everybody. Do it quick. If you want to spray off your golf clubs, we'll have alcohol spray out. So we try to keep it as clean as possible. Christine, who works on the front line, takes sanitizing steps seriously. So I feel like we'll be able to get something good out of that. But given that regard, we're not just selling as many tickets as possible for the raffle. So all of these cool little prizes that I've been collecting over the past year for this, can't really bring them all out, but I do want to bring out a couple just to make it enticing,
Well, Christine is a nice upgrade to Bedbug Boy, so you did a good job there. Very nice upgrade.
Oh, thank God! That was my source of my anger last year. That kid just sat there like a miserable bastard. Oh, I didn't even want to buy a ticket from him.
I didn't mean to bring it up. I don't want to get you all upset. You get all fired up. We want Happy Jarvis on this podcast. We want Happy Jarvis.
Man, but you went up there and he was sitting there with his head in his hands, like, why am I here? And I'm like, pal, the only reason you're there is to be friendly and meet an alumni that you don't have to freaking just email her. We need money to fix something. It's like your chance to talk to somebody and be like, oh, I remember that kid. He left a good impression on me. When he reaches out, I'll listen, or I know, that's what it's all about. And that kid couldn't have been more of a rejected personality.
Jarvis sounds like an 1800s brothel owner. Like when he has the women come into this, he yells at these people for not providing good entertainment. That's what you sound like. I've watched some shows, and I'm like, wow, this sounds familiar. What does this sound familiar? Oh, he sounds like a brothel owner. You go there and entertain those men right now.
If you look at Azar's Pornhub search bar, I'm pretty sure it's going to say 1880s brothel women.
He's looking at old black and white videos.
Cowboy walks in with his gun belt on and syrups only.
I don't like assless chaps, okay?
Yeah, right.
Let's not get there. Okay, well, it looks like the golf tournament's got still some flavor of the past, what we're used to. It's just really like the end of the event kind of banquet is the real major difference in the big raffle. There's not going to be as many raffling options as possible.
Right. There'll be a few. They'll be at the Monte Carlo hole, and that way, if you want a chance to win money, you can bet $5 or $10. If you want to buy raffle tickets, you can just pay, whatever it is, 1 for $5, 3 for 10, 10 for 20, and go that way. So it'll just be at that hole. It'll just be there. And then that way, right when the last team comes through, Christine can shake up all the tickets, pick one, tape them on each prize, and then bring them back to the clubhouse right where the scoreboard is, where they put the winners up. We'll have the longest drive team person. We'll have the closest to the pin person. We'll have on all those prizes, and it'll just have the winning ticket. We'll get a marker. Everybody will write down their name or initials or something. So we'll just stick the ticket on. It'll have the name on it. You just go and get it, and off you go.
All right. Sounds good.
So
Sounds
try
like
to
it
do
should be a
try
good
to do
time.
a little something. Try to do a little something.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. I think the fact that you guys are still pushing forward and still getting volunteers to help, that's a big part of it, and that's great. I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited for. I already got. My wife has already offered to drive me to the to get up early and drop me off and pick me up instead of me worrying about driving home. So
Fantastic.
I'll be enjoying myself. So
I love when you enjoy yourself. So Azar, I got to ask, are you going to be in good health this year?
I'm going to plan to, but every year I've golfed, it's been some type of disaster, me falling into the marsh or something. So I don't know. I think that's maybe why she's driving me, because that way if I end up in the ER, she just has to drive. No one has to drive my car home.
What color shirt you're going to wear?
It's a gray shirt, blue-gray.
It's not mint green?
No, mint green, but I was thinking about getting John's salmon color that he likes.
It's red. It's red.
You red my ass, you colorblind.
It's red.
No, that is not red, John. That is a salmon.
It's not salmon. It is not salmon.
100% salmon.
No man over 6 feet tall should wear a salmon-colored shirt. It just does not look right.
Hey, how did this come to my colored shirt based on Azar's cursed green shirt that he wears?
Yeah. Well, it's all right. It's that shirt was thrown away after the last incident. I just can't take it anymore. So
that was really a cursed shirt.
It was. I just can't. I couldn't catch a break. But this year, I haven't done anything strenuous, so I'm planning to go out there and hopefully the weather is comfortable.
Did you sign up for a Tough Mudder or a spotting race or anything?
No. I haven't been sitting on my ass and doing nothing. So
good.
So
good. Your golf game won't be good, but your health will be.
There's no muscle memory. There's no muscle. So there's no muscle memory. No risk of muscle memory right now. I can be molded into anything anybody wants me right now.
I want you to make it. I want you to make it through 18, Azar. That's what we want.
But you know what? I'm gonna have R3 on speed dial in case I need help with my golf swing.
There's a chance R3 might be there.
That's good.
There's a chance.
Free coaching lessons for everyone.
I can't. I don't want to say too much, because I don't know yet, and I don't want to put the pressure on him, but there's a chance R3 could, in fact, be at the event.
Nah, he's a fucking quitter.
Okay. You said it, not me.
He's already quit.
He might say he'll be there, but, there's plenty of time from now until then for him to quit.
Oh,
there it is. The curse of the green shirt.
Thank God we don't post this thing with video. So
we might. This one we might.
Azar, do you see the evil
in that shirt?
In the shirt.
Yeah, I had to have an exorcism performed on it because it was so freaking.
Jarvis, if I find that shirt out at the stores anywhere, I am so buying it. And I will buy it for him, and then he'll have to wear it because it comes as a gift.
I don't know if you'll have to wear it. You'll have to just pull it out if you want him to hit one of those reverse drives that he does, where he swings the club left and the ball goes right.
Oh, coming from the two guys who take 8 shots off the tee to find the right one for themselves.
That's not true.
You play golf like it's golden tee. All right, if I aim here, and Meat doesn't even aim. He just goes points 90 degrees from where he's supposed to be shooting, and his ball slices to the green.
It is remarkable.
Whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes to get that ball out there.
It is remarkable watching you play golf. I don't understand.
I have fixed it a little bit over the years. There is a slice there. There's no doubt, but not as bad as it used to be. I used to slice it was like a legit 90 degree. Like it would just turn completely and go to the right.
And I love the logic. I'm not going to fix my swing. I'm just going to aim facing the other direction because I know my ball will eventually go the other way.
That's right.
You have literally teed off facing the, what do you call it? What they say, the whites, the blues, where you're hitting from? You literally are facing that, that marker, teeing off perpendicular to the hole.
There?
And the thing goes out, like if we're on hole 6, it'll go out over, the fairway of 7, back around over the trees and land on fairway of 5. Unbelievable how you get that thing.
Wasn't there a picture of me lining up and right in front of me is like the table where the girls are sitting. I'm aiming right at them,
Yes.
but I'm just hoping that the ball slices enough that it goes around them.
The look of terror on everybody's face when you line up. It's not even safe. You can't assume the way you aim. It's scary.
I'm going to redeem myself this year, gentlemen. I'm going to redeem myself.
Well,
it's incredible. It's really it's
better. It's better than Azar's 2-inch drive that he had. And it just got stuck right in the dirt 2 inches from the tee.
You are good for one of those a day, Azar.
I am. When it gets silly,
hysterical.
when we get too silly, it does happen. I can't deny that.
And I'm always good for a good trick golf ball or two.
Yeah.
Yes, the unputtable will surface again.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Well, that's good, Jarvis. We're looking forward to the tournament. So we'll move on from that. So we definitely have to have our post-tournament review. That'll be exciting. And we'll get to discuss that and discuss all the incidents, rages, and all that other fun stuff that occurs from that event.
I wonder what's going to add this year. It's really a grab this year because with no cookout afterwards, no banquet afterwards, it's like who is going to put all their eggs in the basket of like just getting it all out in the 5 hours of golf as opposed to the 10 hours of golf and banquet? Because usually it gets sloppy around like 2, 3 o'clock, but that's right when we're going to be done this year. So it's like it could get real interesting, real quick.
I can't wait to see which guy Christine has her knee in his neck by the end of this thing to kind of calm them down as she's dragging him off the golf course.
My money's on Potter.
That's a safe bet. That is a safe bet. Until I see who the true audience or like who's playing, I'm not going to make any predictions. But I think we definitely have to have a pool that we're going to go show up at the hole and Christine's going to be kicking someone's ass.
So Potter's golfing with Mr. Roper.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Roper, Super Spreader, and somebody else, right?
Yeah, and Hank Brown.
I'm hoping it's Mr. Roper that that Christine's knee is in his neck. That's the guy I'd be hoping for. That would be funny.
That would be funny. So
we should probably just pull an all-nighter the night before. Just go out drinking all night.
Let's just camp out on the golf course. That way we're already there.
There you go.
I like it.
That'll make it interesting.
I wish I had an RV. I'd park it in the parking lot. We could just sit there all night waiting to tee off.
Crash at Costa's. Costa lives in the complex.
Oh, that's true.
He won't mind.
No.
It's true. My cousin lives right there too. Crash at her place.
See, look at that. See
that? When we get kicked out of one, we'll crash the other.
But basically, the theme is there's only Greek people that live in that complex.
Only Greek people.
What it sounds like.
That's why there's no poison ivy on the course because of all the goats.
Sheep. They like sheep.
Oh, sheep! Damn it!
This is not Jamaica. All right. Well, that's good. Like I said, we'll definitely have the follow-up episode, and this is a good treat for anybody who doesn't normally listen to the podcast. We'll get the info out. Jarvis will hopefully will spread this out to the website. Let anybody know that this is available if anybody wants kind of like a nice little download about this upcoming golf tournament, because you did share some nice tips about what to expect.
Yes.
Especially with COVID. All right, so moving on. Entertainment is still, sports are back, and I saw a quote or a Twitter post from Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports, and I think it applies. I don't know about you guys, but he called this sports. It's like almost like watching preseason right now. Like nothing is that exciting. Like nothing has captivated me in the sports. I feel kind of like couldn't wait for it to start, and then it started, and I'm like, it's okay. It hasn't really captured my attention. So from an events point of view, I'm kind of disappointed, but I guess Meat has one recommendation for us that he's found.
I have a theory on that too, by the way.
Okay, what's the theory first before we jump in?
Portnoy is a Massachusetts guy, and all teams from Massachusetts are horrendous, like historically terrible. And the ownership of most of them, except for the Patriots, and mainly the Red Sox, the ownership of the Red Sox is even more nauseating than the play on the field. There is not a redeeming team that you can get behind right now. You just lost Tom Brady. You lost Mookie Betts, and Pasternak is out playing with COVID. So there is not a team that you look at and be like, yes, that is a team that represents Boston that I can get behind.
Why not the
That's
Celtics?
true.
We don't know if there's going to be football. The Red Sox are literally tanking for just to get a first-round pick that they don't even know who it's going to be because nobody played baseball this spring in college.
Yeah.
And the Bruins, who are the hottest team in hockey, can't put one skate in front of the other. So what do we have to watch to be excited about?
I think your point is accurate when it comes to the Red Sox, just because they basically gave up in the offseason, and the way they're playing now is just they're not going anywhere. The Bruins, you're right, they're struggling. They were the best team before, but the Celtics, they're still strong. I mean, they haven't officially started. I think the first game was just recently. But
Tatum said he picked up a basketball in 4 months. And he went 2 for 9. He had like 5 points on 18 shots the first game. I mean, yeah, they beat Portland, but Portland's not the benchmark.
And they gave up a huge lead. They gave up a huge lead to Portland.
Yeah.
Yep.
And was it the second or third quarter? They just fell apart.
Yep.
Yeah, third quarter. And then they had to like squeeze it out at the end. It was like,
right.
It's almost like I think that's why Portnoy's thing is kind of accurate. At least you're right, Jarvis. You might be from the Boston sports perspective. It's like watching them getting through preseason, getting all the rust off. So if the games, it's almost like you want to. The season's not even that long. It's almost like you want to wait a couple of weeks, let them kind of figure crap out. But I think, unfortunately, the NFL is going to be the same way with no preseason games, no nothing, no wearing pads until what, like the first week of football or something.
It's 14 padded practices.
Yeah, so I think the NFL is probably going to be the same thing. It's probably going to be bad football to watch.
Yeah, and you get a key player like Hightower opting out, Chung opting out. Like you're talking about key guys that are going to make your team. Like it's one thing if like a Red Sox player opted out, or even a Bruin or a Celtic, because you're playing with only a few guys and there's a lot of rotating in and out. But in football, you need 11 guys on each side of the ball. You lose one key player, and it changes the whole dynamic of the team. Like you lose Hightower and Chung, it's literally like the back end of your stack, the middle of the defense. And
yeah,
I don't know.
But I think it's also the lack of fans in the stands. It's just not as exciting watching it on TV. Plus, it's not like you could go to the games. It's not like you could go to Fenway Park and watch a game. Now you got teams that are contracting COVID, and now they're canceling games. The Marlins canceled their entire season. It doesn't feel right. You know what I mean? And I think that's what's kind of bringing people down. And people are probably thinking, how long is this going to last? I mean, is this really a legit season? You got 60 games in baseball. That could end tomorrow for every team. And it could be.
And if sports falls apart, what is the rest of the country going to do? It's just kind of like, shit, we're still really dealing with all this. Like, it's just a downer. And then watching sports is almost like, it's like watching like the last Rocky. You know what I mean? When he's like so old, you're like, oh, this is, even as a movie, you're like, oh, it's painful to watch this old thing come back and die. Like, you almost just want to be like, all right, come back when you're
That's
young and energized.
Yes.
It's just like overdone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't want to get into the politics or the whole thing of COVID because it's just frustrating. I was talking to some other parents this weekend, and we were talking about sports, and you would think, like, I understand if the NFL struggled because you have all these heavy, I think I heard a stat like 60% of the NFL is considered obese based on the BMI scale, right? And that's like a high risk factor for COVID. But when you think of the sports like basketball, baseball, and hockey, these guys are some of the fittest people in the planet, right? And probably the least at risk of really having severe complications. I know Erod had those complications with his heart after contracting COVID, but I can say, because I actually had a similar thing, that was what I contracted. And any virus, it's just bad luck. Any virus could actually trigger that. So it's not necessarily a COVID thing, even though they're making it out in the news, it's a COVID-related issue. But it's amazing to me that it's crippling the sports. And it's like, let these guys play. Like, what's going to happen if these guys contract it? Nothing. Most of them didn't even know they got it. Like Marcus Smart made it, I got diagnosed. I was asymptomatic. And it's like, it's just getting crazy. Like, and I guess it's just out of frustration. Like, you just want this year to to end or whatever. Just like, just get over this. But the sad thing is, it's not like a virus disappears in 2021. It's just going to go away. So that's the madness about all this. It's either everybody gets it and we move on, or we keep playing this game where it's shut down, hide, and I think the virus is just going to play peekaboo and hide from us. Like, it's gotten insane. Like, I don't know what people are expecting is the difference in 2021. Like,
That's why I told you earlier. I said, just, now I'm actually just hoping I get it, just to get it and get it done and be over with it.
And that's why, my friend, you are riding with Bobby.
Yes. Those masks you're giving out at the Seagull Golf Tournament? I ain't wearing one.
Why did you just take everybody's and cough in them?
If I can guarantee that I have COVID, then yes, I will. No, yeah. I would not. I would.
Oh my God, that's why
this is getting dark.
I want to be mentioned.
This is getting dark.
Yeah. Oh, it's evil. It's evil. All right. Well, Big Meat. Sports, we just talked about, is frustrating. But you said you actually found a show on Netflix. Why don't you share with that so we can get into that before we move into a quick fantasy recap?
Yeah. So there is the one show. I know they're slim these days and with the shows that are streaming now, but there is a pretty good show. It actually is in its second season, and I didn't even hear about this during the first season. I just happened to stumble upon the trailer for season 2, and I said, "Oh, this looks actually pretty good." Where I went back and watched season 1. It's a superhero show. It's called the Umbrella Academy. Umbrella Academy. It's a mouthful. It is. So I looked it up. It's not. It's based on a comic book series, but it's not Marvel and it's not DC. It's kind of like the third one in line. That's the relatively unknown comic book. It's called Dark Horse Comics. So everybody knows Marvel. Everybody knows DC. I think Dark Horse is an independent comic book series, and the Umbrella Academy is it's one of the more popular ones for those. So I'm actually in the middle of the second episode. I didn't get the chance to finish it. But if you like X-Men, if you like superhero shows, it's got a little bit of the same tone as Hunters. I remember watching it. It's a little wacky. There's a lot of humor in it. Some parts are very serious, and then in the next scene, it goes right to humor. It's a little bit like watching the Hunter show, but it's a superhero show. So again, it's just a show about a bunch of characters that have these superpowers, and it's actually a pretty interesting show. If you want to get hooked on it, I suggest you go to YouTube, type in Umbrella Academy Season 2 opening scene. It's like a 3-minute scene showing like the opening scene for Season 2. It doesn't really give anything away. It's not going to spoil anything if you haven't seen Season 1. I promise you, watch that opening scene of Season 2 and you will be hooked. You will say, oh my God, I got to watch this show. It's pretty good. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? I that's good to know. You know what got me thinking of these wacky, like out of the box superheroes that we're so used to here, the traditional Marvel characters. Like Netflix did a bunch of Marvel character shows. But there was a show I saw on HBO Max. That's what I was thinking of. It was on HBO Max. I couldn't remember the platform. And the show was called Doom Patrol. And the reviews on it are pretty good. And I was kind of shocked. I haven't watched it, but it's one of those things that it's like it's like a platform that's looking for not your traditional superhero type of – it's like Suicide Squad. It's not your traditional type of carry. This thing, I haven't watched it yet. It's on HBO Max, and I'm going to check it out. It's called Doom Patrol.
That is funny. Yeah, I've heard of that show before too, and it's funny you mentioned like Suicide Squad, it's kind of like a band of misfit superheroes.
Yeah,
exactly. They're not out there to they're out there to save lives, but they're not afraid to take lives either. So it's kind of one of those little bit one of darker type comic book superhero shows. So
yeah, I don't know if you guys do Rotten Tomatoes from a score. If you ever look at those.
Oh, yeah.
But the show has a 96% tomato score, and then it has a 83% average audience score. So
and those are pretty accurate. And those are pretty accurate. I follow those. So I guess it aired on. It's recent. Like it must have just came down because I remember just seeing it.
July 30th, 2020 is what I'm looking right now, if that's accurate or not.
Are you referring to, which one are you referring to, Doom Patrol or Umbrella Academy?
No, Doom Patrol. Doom
Okay.
Patrol.
Yeah,
but it's like Umbrella Academy. It's a band of misfit people with superpowers. And so, again, I haven't watched the show, Doom Patrol, but it's just like the Umbrella Academy. I remember seeing highlights of it and thinking, oh, that's a little odd. It was kind of intriguing just because it seemed like you're out of not your traditional characters that you would typically root for. Some of them are dark. I know in Umbrella Academy, one of them is very flamboyant. Like, so just kind of leave it like that. Like, he's not your traditional male superhero character.
They all have their own like little personality. You know, none of them are the same.
Yeah.
And one of the girls in it actually was one of the characters in X-Men. I forget the character she played, but so it's funny when you're watching the show, it's almost like you're watching X-Men, but she's just another character.
Yeah. Well, it looks like they're almost took like the concept of Marvel's Xavier's School of mutants.
Yes.
It's almost like the same thing.
Very similar.
Mutant, and all of a sudden you had these kids, but he's no Professor X kind of thing. So, but anyways, we're going on the dork tangent right here. This is kind of like our dork. We turn into a dork podcast, I guess.
We're trying to up our dork followers. That's what we're trying to put our dork hats on. And
we'll be signing into Comic-Con 2021 when it comes back on. But so that's if you're into superhero shows. Not a lot of people are, but if you are, definitely. I have to check out Umbrella Academy. I got a couple of shows, and then I got distracted. I'm not sure why it pulled me away from it. And it might be because kids' sports started up. Because I remember seeing it thinking, here's a show I haven't watched, and I started it. And then I think sports kicked up after COVID, or still COVID, but so that might be what.
It's like everything else, though. You go, there's a million shows on TV, and you hear from everybody say, this show's great, that show's great. Some of them you never hear about them at all. So if you don't hear about them, either on social media or through your friends, you're not going to know about them. You know, and that's it. And you know, some of the shows like the Tiger King, you know, when that came out, everybody was talking about it. It was all over Facebook. It was like you couldn't escape it. It's like you know what show it is. So whereas a show like this, it's like it's not a lot of people are talking about it. Doesn't mean that it's not a good show though. So
yeah, no, I agree, and I think that's what's nice about this podcast. I know people think it's crazy, but we do tell you, hey, if you're looking for something, we've actually had a chance to watch it, or we've done the homework. Sometimes we do take the time and we look into it. So we're giving you like honest reviews. Yeah. So I noticed.
If you're a dork and you like superhero shows, then check out the Umbrella Academy.
If you're
not, then don't watch it.
If you're a man-child, please jump on and watch our shows. Yeah, that's what you're saying.
That's right. That's right.
So, and I noticed Jarvis has his lights on, so the warden must be asleep now. Because the lights came back on for literally an hour. It was pitch black. Now all of a sudden he's got a drink in his hand. The lights are on. It's almost like he's broken free.
Him and his wife could have been having sex in the background, and we had no idea. Just in pitch black, no idea what's going on.
It's so bizarre.
Yeah, but he got his drink though, so at least that's good. He's got his drink on.
Yeah, he's happy now. All right, so let's move to fantasy. I know, Meat, you had I actually liked what Jarvis was going to, talking about the impact of the people that opt out, because there's definitely going to be some fantasy impact. But I think, like you said, maybe we'll just hold off on that, because I think the opt-out people have until, the end of this week to finally opt out? Is it
Wednesday? 2 days from
Wednesday.
Now?
This Wednesday, yeah. So maybe by the time we do our golf tournament review, we'll have more opt-outs and figure out who's going to be impacted by this, and how and discuss the fantasy impact of certain players that have opted out. Because definitely the Patriots defense, we were just hyping their value going up with the signing of Cam Newton, and then they had some significant opting out. So how does that impact their fantasy value? But we'll skip that. But Meat wanted to talk about, he used the words, people, and I apologize for those that might be offended. Dark horses? What was the word he used?
Dark horse candidate.
Yes. I don't know if that's very PC in our culture that we're doing right now. But
not to be confused with the Dark Horse comics I was referring to earlier.
Yes, he seems to like the word dark horse. So we're going to let Big Meat jump in. Why don't you just bury yourself with this one first?
All right. Yeah, so dark horse, for those who are not familiar with the term, it's
There are
basically
some familiar with that term.
not the term that you guys
Might
are,
as well have said
how you guys are familiar with it.
red skin.
Or what's the team now? It's just the football team.
The Washington football team. I should have submitted a trade copyright for that. I'd be a millionaire.
How ridiculous is that? They can't just come up with a temporary name. Anyways, so I was thinking, let's name that player that you would normally find in the middle rounds, a guy that's like, okay, he's had some success, maybe a guy that you could say is a comeback player of the year candidate. And who would you pick from any position who could end up, you wouldn't be surprised if he ended up as like a top 5 player at that position. And so I have a couple players in mind. One is a running back and one is a wide receiver. I'll start off with the wide receiver first.
Go ahead.
I'm thinking AJ Green is one of those guys.
Wow.
He is so far down the ranking that I'm surprised that people forgot who AJ Green was. He didn't play at all last year. I think he missed most of the year before that. But now you got, okay, he's a rookie, but he's the number 1 overall pick in Burrow. And he's got a better quarterback thrown to him now, in my opinion, than Andy Dalton ever was. He's still young enough. I think he's only 30, 31 maybe, AJ Green is. So for him to be like, I don't know where he's ranked, but he's past the top 20 wide receivers in the league today. He's still a talented guy. Why isn't he moved up? I think he's a guy that could easily jump up and all of a sudden be like, whoa, AJ Green, he's a nice comeback player of the year candidate.
That seems a little intense. I don't know. He's so injury prone that I can't so you think he'll finish in a top 10 receiver?
No, I don't think I said I wouldn't be surprised. He would be my candidate. If I were to pick a receiver, my dark horse receiver that I feel it could jump up into that top 10 ranking again. It could be AJ Green, because everyone's just kind of forgetting about him. He's going to slide down the draft boards. He's going to end up being like some teams like 4th wide receiver. And then who knows, by the end of the year, he might end up being like their best wide receiver on their team.
Oh, see, you went really deep. That's a deep dark horse. Okay. I was thinking like, you were talking about players. I was going to nominate like Juju Smith-Schuster, who would slide because I think people forget.
No, he's a good candidate. He's a good guy too.
So that's a guy I'm thinking of is a little bit more realistic to kind of fall in because he's so young and really extremely talented. And I feel like Pittsburgh is always a competitive team every year, barring the disaster of injuries they had last year. But I don't know. Just AJ Green, I just feel is like it's just past his prime at this point. I just find it hard to see him.
I'm making a bold prediction.
Like if you're going to put a pick into him, and you're saying like I think Juju Smith-Schuster can legitimately be a top 10. Like he'll slide down. Don't forget about him, and he could legitimately come back and be like that comeback player in the top 10. If you're going to make that prediction, I would say AJ Green. I can't see maybe in the top 20, but not in the top 10. I just can't see that happening.
So Juju, I'm going by the Yahoo rankings here, and Juju's already like, if I'm counting this correctly, he looks like he's 12th. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 12th ranked receiver. So if you're going to go a little bit more bold, I mean, that's not a bad – I mean, he could end up being top 5 receiver. He could be that good.
Yeah, because when you said dark horse, I'm thinking of someone that people will just sleep on because his name, like people are just going to forget about him. Whereas
AJ Green is the 34th ranked receiver.
Yeah, that's
receiver, not overall pick. 34th ranked receiver.
I'll give you credit. That's a dark horse. You're digging deep, meat. All right, I'll give you that.
So your definition of dark horse has changed several times. It started with defining what a sleeper is, and then you've also defined what a comeback player of the year is.
Yeah, it's kind of all in the same category. I'll let you decide on how you want to describe that player. I'm just looking for that player that's ranked down the board where you could easily, like, you could come out and make that bold prediction and say, hey, he could be top 10 at that position.
Okay. All right. So, and that,
Swallow it, Jarvis, whatever it is.
so that's where I have a problem. Is like the comeback player of the year thing versus finishing in the top 10. If I'm trying to like create an algebraic system where the two lines cross here, I think the person as a running back.
Jarvis, don't talk like you're not impressing anybody that listens to our podcast. No one.
Potter.
Oh well.
So.
What if I missed it? What the hell are you guys talking about? What the hell is that all about?
Jarvis wants to use big words, but no one on this. Now we know that listens to this podcast. Is going to be impressed by Jarvis's big words.
I would have said for a running back, David Johnson probably has the best chance of being drafted the lowest, finishing the highest. However,
you guys are going out on a limb with these picks.
Well, I mean, he's in the best situation. He's going to get all the touches. The offense is still decent. You lose, what's his name that he got traded for, Hopkins. And so here's the thing. DJ, I liked his situation. However, Bruce Arians hates rookies. Bruce Arians loves versatile backs. Bruce Arians has a starting running back up until yesterday that was a second-year running back or a rookie that he just drafted.
Don't say it.
Until they just signed.
Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Geriatric, orthopedic shoes.
God.
Perfect fit for a system running back.
All right.
So, similar to David Johnson, I think Shady McCoy is in.
No way. I'm looking at it. No way.
That is very bold. Very bold. You're on the other side of the spectrum on that one.
Wait. Hear me out. So when David Johnson was a rookie, he was playing for Bruce Arians. Bruce Arians did not let him take the field, even though every time he did, he averaged a touchdown. He had that breakout game, those few breakout games, and he was still being benched for some suck running back in Arizona. Arians does not unleash rookies. So you have Ronald Jones. Last year was a rookie, kept getting his ass benched by Arians for the other guy that they had. They drafted this new kid, Keyshawn Vaughn. So they have a running back that has been historically benched already, a rookie who Arians hates, and LaShawn McCoy, who really hasn't been hurt or overused the past few years, may have something in the tank in a shortened season where he's not getting beat up in training camp. He's not doing a whole lot. He just may have to work on some speed. And if he has some elusiveness left, could catch some balls from Brady. He's got that James White thing.
You know what? He was in one of the best systems with Andy Reid and could not capitalize on it. That offense was a juggernaut. He didn't have to carry the weight of the team on his back.
Yes, he did. That team, the quarterback sucked. And Michael Vick.
No, I think he was talking about the Kansas City Chiefs when last year when LaShawn McCoy.
Oh, Andy Reid and the Chiefs.
Yeah,
but he was behind. There was so many running backs.
I know I go back sometimes, but how fucking far back do you think I go back?
Chip Kelly.
I said Chip Kelly a mistake. I'm not talking about LaShawn McCoy on the Eagles.
He was brought in. I don't know. Patrick Mahomes is not Brady. Mahomes is looking for the flashy pass. He's bombing the ball down the field. McCoy needed to run between the tackles. This is going to be Tom Brady looking out. Evans and Godwin are so far down the field, Brady can't reach him. Gronkowski is just stumbling around somewhere on third down. So first and second down, dump to McCoy. McCoy's going to get 5 yards. McCoy's going to get 10 yards first down. Maybe hit Gronk. Try to feed the other ones. I think McCoy's going to get some balls and some opportunities just because of Brady.
He'll get some opportunities, but I just...
The system
it's tough.
Andy Reid, it's great for a running back, but it was not good because I don't think McCoy could keep up with Mahomes and the young guns. That team had some speed. Mecole Hardman, Tyreek Hill, those guys can fly. And I just don't think Shady was built for that team.
Well, wouldn't you say that a team that can fly and stretch the field, like kind of what you're saying, like Godwin and Evans are stretching the field, that whole team...
Brady can't reach him. Can't reach him.
No,
Brady?
I know. But what I'm saying is, why didn't he thrive in an offense like that, where the defense, you have Mahomes that can run, is so elusive. Like, you'd think McCoy would have been able to.
No, they asked McCoy to run between the tackles.
Not entirely. Not from all the games that I watched. Well, little that he did play. I don't know about that.
I don't know. He was running between the tackles a lot.
I just
so,
I would
okay.
be shocked.
Anyway,
but it's not bad. Look,
I think
me challenge
Brady likes veterans. Brady can't throw the ball like Jameis Winston could throw the ball. Now, wide receivers, I do have one that I had seen a lot of, not a lot of hype, but a lot of like, why is this guy falling? Why is this guy getting drafted in mock draft so late? And he's consistently 100 picks down, but he's could finish top 15 receiver. Alshon Jeffrey, if he's healthy, and if Wentz is healthy, he's the number one receiver.
Big if. Yep.
Talk about an injury-prone guy. That guy's getting injured all the time.
You can't shit on me for my definition of your dark horse vague fucking statement.
All I know is you lost all credibility when you picked Shady McCoy. That's all I got to say. That's all I got to say.
See, nobody listens. I said David Johnson, but I'm
exactly.
I'm intrigued by McCoy.
Hence the topic of this podcast. Nobody listens.
So, Jeffrey, but I think I like Emmanuel Sanders in New Orleans. I think he could kind of be someone that a lot of attention's going to fall on Michael Thomas. You know, the running backs are the running backs there, but you know, I think Emmanuel Sanders could step into that number 2 role if Thomas is getting double and triple teamed.
Well, you guys are definitely stretching the limit. I'm picking players. I'm thinking, all right, that people might legitimately pick, not in the 12th or 13th round.
Azar's picking Ezekiel Elliott. He's like, hey, I think he's going to have a good year.
No, you
guys, a bullshit question. He said, "Oh, what's your dark horse?" Well, I don't know. What's the definition? Definition's what you want it to be. Yeah. All right, so you're giving Juju Smith, who's a second round pick.
No. I'm not.
Alshon Jeffrey, who's a 14th round pick.
I am not questioning like your definition of that pick and you going you went all out with those two picks for sure. It's the choice of player that you chose. You know, like you could have you might as well just said Sony Michel. You might as well just said Sony Michel is that guy who could be top 5.
I would have said Darius Geis before Sony Michel or Damian Harris.
Kareem Hunt has a better chance of having a bigger year than McCoy. All right, another guy that I would say, I don't have a back, but I'm thinking of a receiver that don't sleep on, that people might forget because he didn't have a really breakout year or didn't have a great year, and he moved teams. He went to a team that traditionally isn't known for star.
You're going to say Brandon Cooks?
No, Stephon Diggs.
Oh, yeah, okay. I saw him, but I didn't think he was a dark horse.
No, I know. He's not a true dark horse.
He got traded to be a number 1.
Yeah, but he's to a team that traditionally isn't known for producing like star receivers. And I think Stephon Diggs.
Peerless Price wasn't a star receiver?
Oh my God!
Peerless Price. They're talking about going way back.
Yeah.
Who was the other guy?
Way back.
They had Terrell Owens, didn't they, for a little bit?
Yeah, one season.
Yeah.
No, there were 2 of them. There was Peerless Price and another receiver. Those were their 2 big receivers. Who the hell was the other one?
Yeah.
But you're talking about their run for the Super Bowls. They had
Andre Reed and what are you talking
about? But anyways, so people that probably respect my opinion more than you idiots, what you guys are talking about, if you're drafting, I think Stephon Diggs has the potential to creep back in and probably be a very competitive top 10 receiver if Josh Allen is the real deal and they really do legitimately want to stretch the field with
Eric Mould. That's what I was going
for. Eric Mould.
Yeah.
So Azar, that's not a bad. That's a good pick actually. I would say that's not a bad. But I would doubt Stephon Diggs is the guy in that offense where they run the ball a lot and Josh Allen runs a lot too. I just don't see him getting a lot of targets.
That's why I said he's a dark
Sammy
horse.
Watkins at the Bill?
Yeah, Sammy Watkins. That's where he started.
Yeah.
And he was injury prone. That was his problem. But I'm saying Stephon Diggs, he might be a sneaky guy that all of a sudden they have a real legitimate receiver, and they have.
I don't consider him a sneaky guy though. I consider him hyped. He's hyped.
Yeah,
Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
Not for that offense.
So the way I look at it,
situation, he was traded to be their number one. They traded a first-round pick.
Yeah, but John's right. The Bills aren't traditionally known to be this stretching the field offense. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, he's a guy that people might sleep on. I just listed 3 great receivers in the history of the history of the Bills. Recent history, my ass. Like,
so Stephon Diggs, and again, we're going through the Yahoo rankings. That's what we use. He's the 24th ranked receiver projected for this year.
So that's
not bad. For you to say from 24th to top 10, yeah, that could be that's a bold statement. That's it could happen.
It's more of a dark horse than Juju. Is it more of a dark horse than a Juju pick? But
you just quoted one of my favorite sports movies.
So that's I'm just saying that those are names that don't sleep on. Don't like. And if you're going to assume, like, some people might not let those guys slide. So some people might say, oh, I have them as my sleeper or whatever. They might not slide. I think people might look at that and say, that situation.
Well, define slide. Like, Stephon Diggs is going to go in the top 5 rounds. Juju Smith-Schuster is going to go in the top 3 rounds.
You think so? Like, with their quarterback situation right now, do you think Juju is as sexy as, like, I'm saying he has the potential, but do you think with all this stuff they have going on? I don't know.
Well, I have a good running back. I didn't get to my running back pick, who I think could, and I would even say he could end up being top 5. I wouldn't even be surprised. And right now he's ranked 21st running back in Yahoo rankings, and that's Raheem Mostert.
Oh.
He blew up at the end of last year. Yeah, exactly. Well, you're saying this now, but he blew up down the stretch with the 49ers. He was right. You remember those numbers he was putting up at the end of last year. They shipped out, who's that guy? Breida?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's no longer on the team. And they traded for hold on. And they traded for
he's demanded a trade. He wants out. He hates being there. They're not going to use him.
No, I think they just signed. I think they just gave him money.
They restructured his deal.
Yeah, they restructured his deal. He's there for a couple of years, and they also got Trent Williams in a trade to beef up their offensive line. He could be a guy that gets the majority of the snaps, and he could just tear up this league and end up being a top 5 running back. He did come on, but I would say because there's no preseason, it's tough. But is he really a sleeper? Isn't he wasn't he going to be the number 1? Because Coleman.
Tevin Coleman.
Tevin Coleman's there. He's the only guy that kind of is in his way. But like I said, I'm just going by the rankings based on what everybody is looking at. Middle rounds, 21st pick of running back.
I like what you're saying, but I think Mostert, if he got the starting nod at the beginning of the season, I think people would jump on him because of what he did last year.
Right. But they also have Jerick McKinnon, that kid from Minnesota.
Yeah, but he's
been in the league a long time, and he's been given.
Tevin Coleman's been in the league longer than him.
But I'm saying McKinnon has been given so many opportunities to take the ball literally and run with it, and he just hasn't.
He can't stay healthy. He keeps getting injured. And Coleman is the same thing. Like, even when he gets the opportunity in Atlanta, couldn't seize it. Gets the opportunity in the 49ers, can't seize the opportunity. He loses this stuff. I think Mostert is legitimately probably, out of what they have now, is probably their best back, and that's a solid team.
I'd agree with that. He was nasty in the playoffs.
Yeah. So
it's on a good enough team with the 49ers that it's not like they're airing the ball out. They have a good enough offense that they're going to ride him as their main running back, that they can move the chains just enough for him to get a lot of work there. So
I agree with that. I just don't know. Again, this is not the sexy. Like, we didn't really kind of structure this whole dark horse thing very appropriately.
Yeah, just throw out any player that you feel could end up being a great player by the end of the season.
Yeah, but you're right. I think he's in a really good situation, and if they give him the starting nod, he can easily finish in the top 10.
Yeah.
And I don't know about top 5. I think there's so many good running backs out there right now that top 5 is a stretch. But
yeah, that would be very surprising, top 5. But I could see it. I mean, if he can continue doing what he was doing the end of last year, he could get there.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to do this where we're like picking like the fourth receiver on a team, and we're like, yeah, that guy could end up having a breakout year. Like nobody cares if like N'Keal Harry is like a guy that we feel is going to break out and it be like a top 10 receiver.
Well, now let me ask you guys, what about this guy that, I don't know, like Melvin Gordon going to Denver?
Love it.
Like, is he someone that people are thinking
Love the
in that offense?
Oh yeah. So, he's going second round.
Easily? Okay. All right.
Second round.
So you know what? We'll have to do a running back episode. Like, as now that we're in fantasy season, like it's now on everybody's mind because training camps are going to be starting up and all this fun stuff. I think as we do future episodes, because we're getting a little long on this episode, I'm going to just wrap it up now. But I think maybe our next episode, after we do the discussion, if there's no major changes with the opt-outs, like there's not a big, like, no shock waves are sent in the opting out, maybe our next episode will be, let's just jump right into running backs. Who are the running backs for fantasy in our next episode? So that should be an interesting discussion.
Why not
third round? I'm sorry, third round.
Tight ends. No.
Why not tight ends?
That episode will air immediately after everybody drafts because no one else will give a shit at that point.
Hey, there's like 6 or 7 tight ends this year that are looking pretty good.
And John knows his tight ends.
Much more than my 3. I do.
Never seen a man specialize with that one freaking position. He just focuses all his energy on.
We got to catch up on all of our missed podcasts that everybody is clamoring about.
For?
That they want more podcast content. It's all right. We'll do one on kickers. You guys want more podcasts? We'll do one on kickers. We'll do one on defenses too. Why not?
We should.
Why not?
Dominate the fantasy airwaves. We cover it all.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap this episode up because it's a long one, and we want to make sure that people have an opportunity to
I'm just glad to be back. I'm excited to see your smiling and grinning faces, and like you said, Azar, the light's on here in Middle Earth. Finally, I'm starting to see the light.
Yeah, I'm very excited that you were able to get power into your room. So
the generator's on.
The generator's on. Is Jackie out there pedaling, getting get the power going? Yep. All right.
Well, we look forward to listening to Angry Jarvis the next time we talk to you, or next time we talk to you, we'll be at the golf tournament. But the next time you're on this podcast, we are going to get like Angry Jarvis.
It's going to be your mission to take Angry Jarvis and rip him out from hiding because he hasn't been out in a while. I got a little fiery the other day. I forget why. Who are they going after? Adam. I got a little fiery at him the other day, but other than that, he's been pretty subdued. And I don't know. Maybe I just won't be angry. Maybe it'll just be happy Jarvis for a while.
Well, everybody has to kind of stay tuned and listen because we'll let you know.
What is going to happen at the golf tournament?
In suspense.
What Jarvis showed up. All right, folks. Well, as always, follow us on, you got 3 different choices. You can download us through Apple Podcasts. You can go through soundcloud.com, or you can go through YouTube. All 3 work, and just search for Is Anybody Listening to Me or Azar and the Meat. That typically kind of pulls us up much faster. Just search Azar and the Meat, and we come up, and download us, give us a review, and let us know what you think. Until next time.